Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm StarofWisdom.
And I'm Asa.
And we're back with the next episode of the Pokemon Black and White Randomizer Nuzlocke Versus. And
Wow.
I have to get out of this cave because my Pokemon are out of moves and they are poisoned and injured, and I need to go heal.
Okay, if you say so.
But yeah, and you last time got to the legendary stuff, right?
Well, I'm in the Relic Castle.
Right, that's right. You went back to that place.
The big sandy castle, the BSC.
As the cool kids call it, yes.
And it's... I'm fighting some plasma people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I honestly cannot remember going to the Relic Castle. I don't remember that part of the story at all. So.
Well, I only went to it because I was just exploring earlier when we were back in like this actual area of the game.
Uh-huh.
I don't think they actually make you go to it.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. So, did you just like skip the part in the legendary encounter section? Because there's like, you're supposed to.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going in different sinkholes and hoping that it works. I feel like I'm on the right track because I'm like having to fight people.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hope that, yeah. And there's only one more sinkhole that I can go in.
One thing to keep in mind with the legendary Pokemon is that in the previous episode there was supposed to be a special gift, a special prize for whoever guessed how many smoke detector beeps.
Oh yeah, shoot, I should have done that already. Maybe we have to message them in real time to see what they want to name it.
Yes, so you said whoever's guess is closest wins the chance to choose the name for your legendary pocket monster, which, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you encounter it this episode, I guess you'll have to text them in real time or just, you know, pause the run until you get the name, because...
I guess.
Otherwise you can't deliver on your promise. But the guesses were Sam with 10 beeps, and Griffin with 11 beeps, asking for a cruise getaway. But you told Griffin that that did not match your count, so I'm curious, how many beeps did you count?
Were those the only guesses?
Yes.
I feel like I heard one more that was slightly more.
All I see is 10 and 11.
Alright. The correct answer is 15 beeps.
Oh, okay, so no one gets to name it. Oh, whoever's guess is closest.
Yeah, whoever's guess is
Griffin.
closest.
Okay.
So Griffin does in fact get to name a legendary Pokemon.
Oh wait, actually wait, no, sorry, I misread Sam's comment. He said 10 beeps with 2 extra after you mentioned the prize. So his guess is actually 12.
Alright, that it was close. It's an upset, but it turns out that Sam actually indeed has the higher guess. In a shocking change of events.
Yeah, so more votes came in after the deadline, and or not the deadline, but the announcement of what the competition was actually for.
That was close. Imagine if we hadn't seen that.
Yeah, I know, that would have been a disaster for the integrity of this channel.
Would have been so bad.
Does Doom Desire kill Jolteon if I use it? I don't think it kills me, but I honestly can't remember now. Anyway, yeah, so we're just wandering around, trying to get some stuff done. I have to... Oh boy, that thing is using overheat now. But we have some questions. The first one from Sam is about Crown Tundra. Because Crown Tundra just came out, I guess, a week ago. It would have been sooner if we had been recording this sooner, but we skipped a week. But that's good, because that has given me a full week of time to play through Crown Tundra. I do no damage to the Skorupi. What the heck? But yeah, so I've had some time to play through Crown Tundra. I did the 3 main quests. I've done some Dynamax adventures. I've switched to hunting the Poltegeist, or not the Poltegeist, the Sinistea in the new cemetery section of Crown Tundra. Oh, okay, Doom Desire does damage. That's good to know. So yeah, Crown Tundra reactions. Ace, have you seen anything of Crown Tundra?
Nope.
Okay, so yeah, this is pretty much just me talking about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so favorite and least favorite parts about the Crown Tundra. My favorite part is that they actually put time into it, is what it felt like. Like, I was sort of preparing myself to not enjoy the just how... I thought it was going to be a similar thing where there was not a huge emphasis on story. It was just going to be like, oh, look, here's the birds, and here's the Reggies, and oh, look, and also a deer bunny man. But the Calyrex quest actually had a fair amount of stuff to it. You know, there was a lot of running around. Everything was much higher leveled. It's like, it actually felt like a post-game, is what it comes down to. Like, when you're playing a Pokemon game, and you finish the champion, and you go back and you're exploring the region, you expect that there is stuff that you can go find and do that is different from the first time you were there. Or maybe a new area opens up, and that is some new, unique content. And Crown Tundra is that new area that opens up at the end of the game, and it feels like there is actually stuff to do there that is of consequence. So that was my favorite part, is that it finally felt like the end of the game that I wanted. And I really liked it. So that was a good sign. I like how you can do the Dynamax adventures. I think that has a lot of replayability to it. I, once again, like the area. You know, it's a cool, it's all a wild area with Pokemon wandering around in the overworld. It's, you know, well designed. It's good. I like it. I approve. And with that, I will also mention that so the way that the Pokemon games have been in the boat, how Pokemon games have worked for a long time, is that they have a first round of games and then a second round of games, whether that's a third version or sequel versions with like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon and stuff.
Right.
And for the DS, or for the, I guess for the 3DS generation of games, which were actually 2 generations. But for those generations, it was like $40 for the first game and then $40 for the second game. So if you were going to play all of the content, where the third or second version or whatever it was is just adding a little bit of extra content to the original, you were basically spending $80 if you didn't want to wait until the very end.
Yeah.
Whereas for Crown Tundra and Isle of Armor as DLC on top of Sword and Shield, the base game is $60 because it's a Switch game, but the DLC is $30 in total, so it comes out to a $90 total to get what you would be expecting from a third version. Because they have said, they confirmed that this is taking the place of the traditional third version game, is what Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra do. Because there was no mainline Pokemon game released this year. It was just the DLC. So I think that that's worth it. And with the addition of Crown Tundra, I finally feel like I can recommend buy the game, but also definitely get the DLC, because that's what really pulls it together and makes it worth it. And yeah, it's, you know, it's a lot. I mean, in the past, you could just wait and buy the second version and I guess only spend $40 that way, but I don't know. I've really enjoyed Sword and Shield. The one thing that I thought was lacking was, like, some story content and post-game stuff, and I feel like that's finally here in Crown Tundra. I wish it had been integrated earlier in the game, but I would much rather have it here than not here at all. So
sure, that makes sense.
So yeah, and then I guess least favorite part of the Crown Tundra is the fraught relationship between Peony and his daughter, because that is a tragic story. Oops, I did not mean to use that move. I just, it's sad because poor Peony, he sets up, so the story is that Peony sets up this whole, like, adventure to find legendary Pokemon, and he sets it up as this bonding experience for his daughter, and then she ditches him and does Dynamax adventures the whole game. And she's totally ungrateful, and then it turns out that Peony also has this sad backstory of, like, always overshadowed by his older brother, who's Chairman Rose. And on one hand, I really like that they were, like, actually willing to make a story like that and integrate that into the game, but I just feel bad for Peony. Like, that's my least favorite part, is that Peony doesn't get a happy story. He doesn't get a happy ending. At the very end, his daughter shows up and is like, "What? You did all the adventuring without me?" And it's like, she literally finds you at the beginning of the Crown Tundra and tells you should go do this whole adventure, so that, you know, he has someone to do it with. And it's a great adventure. Peony is awesome. He's a great character. So yes, why no happy ending for Peony? That is my question.
should write Game Freak.
Yeah, why you do this to Peony? He is a good person. But again, with that being a sad ending, I still like that they actually they made a story. Like they made a story in this game. Oh gosh, this move I used Endeavor and that did a lot of damage.
Yeah, I mean that's cool. Is it like between Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra? Are they essentially do they amount to a full game, a full Pokemon game? Or not really?
No, I wouldn't say that they're the full Pokemon game. I would say that Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra together make up what we would expect at the end of a traditional Pokemon game. You know, where we would expect that once you beat like the gym leaders and stuff, that there would be stuff to do. And Sword and Shield. I guess Sword and Shield had stuff to do. Like Zacian and Zamazenta actually don't happen until the end of the game. But when I say expect stuff to do, it's like in Alola, you go and you find the various what do you call them? The Tapus. You can go catch the Tapus and the Ultra Beasts. And it's like, sure, there's not much there besides just going around and catching Pokemon, but like there's a bit of extra content, especially in games like Gen 3 and I think in Gen 4, if I'm remembering correctly. Well, especially in Gen 5, there's like actual events with like dialogue and characters and new battles that you unlock and, you know, bits of story, places that were blocked off before that now you can go to. And I don't know, I think Crown Tundra does a really good job of getting closer to that. Obviously it's DLC, but because it takes the place of the third version, usually the third version is the same as the first version, just or the first two versions, but with like a little bit of extra stuff added in. And I think that I would much rather have DLC than a whole other game where you start from the beginning and you play through a story that's basically the same as what you had done before with a slight change at the end. I would much prefer the DLC. Like, I actually am now 100% sold. Like, I was already sold on Sword and Shield because of the whole competitive aspect of it, but now with the DLC, like, I hope that every Pokemon game now is 1 year we have the base game, and then for the whole year after that we have a couple pieces of DLC coming out. Like, I think that's a really fair way of doing it. So yeah. I wish that it wasn't so much that they locked so many old returning Pokemon behind a paywall. That part's a little bit annoying. I wish that all of the Pokemon had just been included in the base game, because then that would encourage them to actually make more new Pokemon in the DLCs. Like, Crown Tundra was good because they added a fair amount of new Pokemon, but, you know, in terms of like the Galarian forms and the 2 new Regis, and they added obviously Calyrex and the stuff with that. But, you know, I would have liked, you know, more if they had actually gone back and revisited the fossil concept, where instead of them being abominations, you could like actually revive them and they could be what they're supposed to be. So like,
they never did that. No,
they didn't, which is kind of sad. But the abomination fossils have grown on me because they, like, you know, they have it's unique. I like the abomination fossils, and they do have, I don't know, I feel like it would lessen their importance as their own unique Pokemon a little bit if they added in the actual correctly revived versions of them. But it still would be cool, and I think they probably will do it in a future generation. Like, if you bring those fossils to a real fossil expert, that fossil expert can then revive them, and like, this is what it really is, you know, this is what it actually looked like. And that would be kind of cool. But again, I would have liked to have seen more of that in both Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra, of just like actual, just standard Pokemon that weren't legendaries, basically. Basically, the new Pokemon that they added were legendaries, and then the Galarian Slowbro. So
yeah,
which is fine. I'm okay with it. But if they do it again in the future, I would hope that they save a little bit more of like their fresh new Pokemon designs for the DLC too. Although I guess in some ways, that is also good that they weren't locking brand new Pokemon behind the DLC. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's a hard decision to make.
I think it's interesting how it's been completely different, like a almost complete tone shift in terms of people were so mad about that the Pokemon were not all included in the base game, and now it's like it seems
it's
like
a source of excitement.
Okay with it.
Right. Well, because I think the actually good thing about taking so many Pokemon out of the game is it gave us an opportunity to kind of build our understanding back up. Like, this is the first game where I've completed the Pokédex, because there were only 400 Pokemon in the Pokédex. And then they added another, like, 150 or so in Isle of Armor, and I did that too. And, like, it's been a gradual enough thing that I've finally been able to, like... they made the task smaller. And that happens with competitive, too, where there were fewer Pokemon to learn the movesets of and figure out what worked well in the format. And so it was more approachable. And I thought that was good. Again, I feel like every Pokemon game, they try to do that, though, where they're, like, trying to make it more approachable. And I would like to see a Pokemon game where they take us seriously. And they're like, all right, we know that, you know... And I guess the other thing with the whole Dexa thing is they originally made it seem like it was just too much work to add them all back in. But now that we know that all of the almost all the Pokemon are supported, like in the next game, if there are still Pokemon missing, I will be annoyed. Because there's no reason not to do that at this point. They have all the models updated for the Switch. I mean, not all of them. There's still some Pokemon missing. But if they're adding a whole new game, they should be able to take the models that they have, plus the ones that are still missing. And I don't know. It doesn't bother me as much as it originally did, but I still think that they could have handled it differently.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it just sounds like a bad handling of the situation. Exactly, yeah.
So Sam's other question is, if we could design a DLC area, what would it look like and be called?
Ooh.
And so I have to think about this, considering that I want the DLC areas to be... I want it to involve... 1 second, I have to deal with this Manectric. I have to figure out how to... I'm fighting this doctor who's finally going to heal my Pokemon. But, my Pokemon are weak, so I have to actually figure out a way to fight him correctly. The things that I like about DLC areas is I want a town area where there's NPCs to interact with. I want a place where you can battle new trainers, like have returning trainers from past games, whether it's past gym leaders. Honestly, I would design a DLC. Here's what I'm going to say. I was thinking of a DLC area in the terms of like Isle of Armor or Crown Tundra, where it's like a big wild area. I actually would design a full DLC area that is another mini league. Maybe not 8 full gym leaders, but at least 4. Like another 4 gyms that were types that weren't in the base game. Yeah. And you go. It's another mini quest where you go around, you get another couple badges. There's, you know, several routes in between, and there is a focus on stuff being higher leveled than before, and being able to access Pokemon that you wouldn't be able to access normally, like the legendary. A lot of the legendaries that you can encounter in Dynamax adventures have good lore around them. So I would want a DLC. We talked about this a little bit, I think, in the last episode, with the potential of them bringing back the Kalos region as a DLC area. I think it would be cool if they had, like, at least a section from another region. Like, imagine if you could go to just the Whirl Islands from Johto. Like, just the place where you find Lugia. It would be kind of a letdown that it's just that one place, because you know that the rest of the region is just above where you are. But it could also be kind of cool, because you're like, oh yeah, I'm here in the Whirl Islands going and fighting Lugia. And you go through that and you encounter it and you do that whole quest. Or like in Gen 4, in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, there's that event where if you got an Arceus, a specific Arceus, you could bring it to the Sinnoh ruins. And it was like a place off the map between Sinnoh and Johto. And so like, you weren't technically able to go to the rest of the Sinnoh region, but you were in this place that was near the Sinnoh region. So, and I thought that was really cool. Like, that was just so fun to like be in an area that's like, yeah, I'm in a different region almost, even though you're not actually re-exploring the region. So yeah, that's what I would want in my DLC areas. I would want, you know, several gyms, several routes, and then also the ability to like travel from that location to something that references a previous region, even if it's not the whole region.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool.
That's my idea. Do you have anything?
Not really. I mean, it's a hard question for me to answer, because is this asking like specifically for what's it called? Sword and Shield?
It's just if you could design a DLC area. So I'm thinking that I'm imagining it in terms of Sword and Shield, but it could also just be in, you know, as a DLC for you know, the next Pokemon game. This could be like a new area, basically a post. I'm taking this more to mean a post game area than necessarily a DLC area, because that's what DLC is in my mind. It should be post game content.
I don't really know how, like, you know, what the game needs, sort of, because I've not played it. But if I could add DLC to the game, not a DLC area, I think it'd be cool in a Pokemon game if they added more, like, random real-time events.
Sure.
Something like that, like, and I just feel like this would be something cool that could be integrated into the game as it gets more and more open world, hopefully. Is like, there could be some, like, freak weather incident caused by some powerful Pokemon in a certain area. And this is kind of what the raids are, but you, like, would see some, like, Pokemon trainers congregated around, like, all battling something. And,
that would,
like,
be really neat. I like that idea.
You could interact with them, and they have better AI, and, like, after you defeated the Pokemon or whatever, or dealt with the threat. Like, I haven't really watched the anime, but I like it's charming, you know, and I feel like Pokemon, the games, lack that same charm, and it has other charm of its own, but
the way that the anime feels very alive.
Yeah, it's like they're always helping the world around them, and it'd be kind of cool if you could do that in the Pokemon game. Like, oh no, this person's house is frozen in a block of ice. We have to
sure
figure out why, or like, I don't know, but
I think that would be cool. Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying, and I mean it could do stuff too with, like, imagine, like, they added back Tornadus and Thundurus and Landorus that you can find in Dynamax raids, but what if it was you're walking around the wild area and it turns into an intense thunderstorm? And that's where you find Thunder. Because I think that's how it is in Black and White, right? They're roaming legendaries, and you have to, like, find a section of the route that's a thunderstorm, and then that's where Thundurus is. Which is, like, that's so cool.
They've done similar things. It's just, like, I don't know, just things like that
in games like this,
would make Pokemon way better. Like, actually, like, give it the justice that the concept of the games is, you know, like, it's a very cool concept. In my opinion, it's very underwhelming in terms of what it could be doing.
In terms of the execution,
it's just my opinion.
Right, like, they could do so much with this game, and yet they keep kind of falling.
It's in the hands of the wrong developer.
Crown Tundra got a lot closer to that. Crown Tundra was a lot closer to, I think, what most fans want from a Pokemon game. It's definitely closer to what I wanted. It was like, this is the content that I want to see in a Pokemon game. But yeah, no, obviously we want that in the base game.
And I mean, take my opinion with a grain of salt, because I have not played, like, the past 2 main series Pokemon games.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, that's kind of our thoughts and opinions on Crown Tundra. It's cool. I like it. And if there isn't any more DLC for Sword and Shield, I think it is now worth it at this point. I don't think they need to add any more DLC. But if there was going to be more DLC, that could also be cool. Depending on how much content they had.
Yeah.
But yeah, Crown Tundra was good. I wish they had split up a little bit more of what was in Crown Tundra with, like, put some of that in Isle of Armor, maybe? That also would have been nice. But it's fine. It's good. And then we have Griffin's question, which was in reference to AOC playing Among Us on Twitch. I just found a Soldew. That's a good item.
It's a Soldew.
It's the item that you give to Latios or Latios, and it, like, drastically boosts their attack and special attack stats, I think. Like, it was banned, I think, in competitive play when Latios and Latios... Because, like, if you can give a Soldew to Latios and Latios in an actual competitive battle, they're just broken. But nowadays, that might actually just make them viable. Which is kind of funny to say, but it's a good item. But yeah, so a couple weeks ago, at the time of this going up, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez live streamed Among Us on Twitch, and I think hit 450,000 viewers at one point, and was kind of hovering around 350,000 for most of it.
Yeah.
And it was a get out the vote initiative. It was mostly her saying, hey, you should make sure you vote in the election. And actually, by the time this goes up, election day is tomorrow. So this is a reminder from us as well. If you haven't voted, hopefully you had a chance to get in your vote already, but tomorrow is the last day for you, so make sure you do it. It is important.
Yes.
So yeah, it was a get out the vote initiative, but it was also an opportunity to just, like, apparently AOC is actually, like, plays games. Apparently she's gotten into League of Legends.
I think
during
she's
the pandemic.
streamed before.
I didn't know that she had streamed before.
I don't know for sure, but I feel like it's been known that she, like, plays games. And
yeah. I mean, I knew that she had done some Animal Crossing stuff, like visiting people's Animal Crossing islands back earlier in the summer, which was cool. But yeah, so it was sort of just like, she was like, I'm going to play Among Us. And then a bunch of larger Twitch streamers sort of jumped in and were like, yeah, you can play with us, and we can make a whole event out of it. And we've seen people from other, I don't know if platforms is the right word, but other platforms or other mediums, like, coming in and doing stuff with Twitch, whether that's athletes or it's, you know, just people that are famous for other people who are famous for other reasons that are showing up and playing games on Twitch because they actually like playing games, you know. And I think that this is a similar thing. It's a little bit different with politics, but I guess I should finish Griffin's full question first, and I have a couple of responses. So he said, give us all your opinions. Is it epic and awesome for 2020? Is it a scary future for Twitch streamers to sway politics? Is this a genius move? Is it super cringy? I want the hot takes. So my responses to each of these, in turn, skipping over the opinions part, because we're going to get into that more. Epic and awesome for 2020. I think this makes sense for 2020. There isn't a way to engage with people in in-person events in the same way, so it makes sense to engage virtually. And how do you get virtual attention? Twitch makes so much sense. Like, that is a smart way to engage with people, and she's not the first politician to do stuff on Twitch, you know. I think really? Trump and Bernie Sanders both have Twitch channels. Not that they're the ones playing the games on those channels, but there are channels for those for those groups, if that makes sense. Is it a scary future for Twitch streamers to sway politics? I don't think it's that much different than any other private citizen weighing in on politics. Like, yes, they have a larger platform, but we already have people with large platforms, like on Twitter, weighing in on politics. So, no, I think that everyone gets to have their own opinion, and if you happen to be a Twitch streamer and you're going to use your platform to share that opinion, then that's how it is. You know, I don't think that that's a scary future, and I don't necessarily know that it sways politics. I think it'll be interesting to see how it continues. I think if you're sharing your platform in most cases, I don't think anyone was gonna be convinced to switch who they're voting for as a result of AOC streaming. You know, that's why it was a get out the vote initiative for everyone. It's just saying vote for the candidate that you believe in. Or the candidates that you believe in, because there's more than one candidate on the ballots. Yeah,
and I mean, to be fair, like, she did advocate specifically for Joe Biden at the end of the stream.
Yep.
But that makes sense, because that's the political party she's affiliated with.
But,
yeah, sorry, I'll let you finish your answer.
Sure, yeah, I just think that the idea that Twitch streamers can sway politics, I don't know that that's necessarily anything new from what we've already seen with other people, quote-unquote, swaying politics. I just think that most people are not undecided. Most voters are decided. And most people know what they believe and who they're going to vote for. And hearing people say things that they either agree with or disagree with isn't necessarily going to change their perspective. Right. So I don't necessarily think that it's going to be... I mean, I'm sure it can be used to sway some politics, but I don't think it's scary, if that makes sense.
No.
It doesn't alarm me in any way. As far as it being a genius move, yes, I think it's a genius move. I think it makes so much sense to engage with people, and, you know, kind of the whole thing that I was saying, especially in a year where you can't engage with people in person, being able to engage with them online in a space where they are comfortable it makes sense. It's a genius move. It is. Is it super cringy? No. I think that there was a way that she could have done it that would have been super cringy, but she clearly put in the effort to learn the game. Like, she knew what she was doing. And she mentioned getting out the vote a couple of times, but she was mostly there to play the game. Like, she was genuinely playing the game and enjoying herself, and, you know, they had some conversations about, like, healthcare, but it wasn't forced. And that's what I think is so important. Like, if Biden had streamed Among Us, it would have fallen totally flat. It would have completely failed. Biden cannot stream Among Us. That's a hello fellow kids moment, you know, as soon as Biden starts trying to stream Among Us.
Yeah.
But AOC is young and plays games anyway, and she takes it seriously, and I think there was a conversation between her and some of the streamers where the streamers were like, they said something about like self-disparaging about being streamers compared to being a congressperson, and AOC was like, no, we're all experts in our own fields. And like, that was just so genuine for her to just say, no, you guys do your Twitch streaming because that's what you're good at, and that's how you have spent your time, and I'm in Congress because that's what I'm good at, and that's how I've spent my time. And I don't know, there was just this very clear understanding that, like, she's here to play games, and yes, tell us to get out the vote, but it didn't feel like a political stunt, you know? It wasn't a political stunt any more than the audience made it a political stunt, is what I will say.
It's politically informed, but it was very genuine, and
that's the main thing, is that it was genuine. Where if you have anyone going onto a platform that they're not normally on and just trying to take advantage of it to, like, talk to people, you can tell if it's not genuine. But like, she streamed for a good 2.5 to maybe 3 hours. Like,
8 to 11.
Yeah, it wasn't like this, I'm gonna hop on for an hour and play some games and there's gonna be a bunch of delay in between them. She was totally engaged with every game. She was taking it serious. She was the imposter the first round, and it was hilarious because she didn't want to kill anyone. And anyway, it was super entertaining. Like, I genuinely enjoyed it just as a Twitch stream. I was entertained. And there were lots of entertaining actual Twitch streamers there as well, but, you know, it's Among Us, so when you're mostly walking around, you're just talking to yourself. Like, the only times you heard from those other streamers was during the discussion rounds. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, my whole take on it was that it was super successful. I enjoyed watching it, and I would enjoy watching more streams from AOC. And, you know, because I think that if you genuinely enjoy doing something, just because you're involved in politics doesn't necessarily bar you from doing. I mean, there are some lines, like if you're running a business, and, you know, it's a little bit different. But another thing, it wasn't like you couldn't subscribe to her channel, you couldn't give donations. There was no way to give money to her. Like, it wasn't a fundraising thing in any way. It was just her playing a game, and, you know, it was great. So, yeah.
Yeah, that was my interpretation of it. Essentially, everything you said I agree with. I think, you know, I feel like I can't help but realize or, like, take into account that, like, my view of, like, the particular question, that is it scary that Twitch streamers can influence politics? I feel like I obviously am biased in this situation because the politics that are being advocated for are those of my own, or I don't know, are my own politics.
Stuff that we agree with.
Yeah, so there's obviously bias there, but I think that Twitch streamers, when I saw this question, I was like, no, Twitch streamers have just as much right to like express their political opinions as anybody else. You know, those, I think the cringiest thing in this aspect is like those comments that are like, talking back to actors on Twitter or just famous people in general, like, yeah, just stick to acting, you know, leave politics out of it. Like, that's cringy, you know? It's like, no, you know, we're all people, we can all express our opinions, you know? It's like,
I think it's important when you're on a big platform and you have a big following, it's important to take that seriously and recognize that things you say do have an impact. Like, that is still important. But
exactly. I mean, I think
it's still within your right to express your opinion, and
I think this question really just leads into a larger discussion over like just the influence that Twitch streamers and famous people wield in general. And I feel like my experience of observing that is that they're all like,
they're more so advocates and fans for the beliefs that they already have. And again, I don't think that anyone's gonna be changing their mind because of AOC. I mean, and maybe they are, but
some people might be inspired to go vote.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think it's like. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. I thought it was smart, and it tracks with stuff that AOC is interested in and stuff that she has done in the past, and yeah, I thought it was a cool event.
I just feel like whoever watched that, you know, even if there was nothing like wrong with that,
right? I don't know how anyone could have had a problem with actually watching that stream.
Because the only political things, like, sure, you might have been able to take issue with the fact that she advocated for Joe Biden at the end, but whatever, that's just what she's going to do.
Yeah. And it was at the very end. It was after they had stopped playing. It wasn't like, if you want to watch the game, you also have to hear her talking about what you should do and what you should believe. And she never said that at any point.
Yeah.
It was,
the only political things that I heard were like, wouldn't it be nice if you could go to the doctor? Like, imagine, like she was saying, like, imagine if you could just go to the doctor and just get help.
Because they were talking about healthcare in Canada, because one of the streamers they were playing with was from Canada.
In the UK, I believe.
So, I think it was Canada. Maybe both.
Both.
But yeah, it was just like, yeah, I think you're right. I think it was in the UK where they were like, yeah, in the UK, our Liberal Party is, or both parties want free healthcare. The Conservative Party just wants to spend less on it. And like, that was like an eye-opening thing to hear, is like, there are countries where everyone agrees that free healthcare is good. It's just the only debate is how much can they afford to put into it. And it would be real nice to be in a society where we're at that point. But
sorry for any feedback. I am plugging in my computer. God dang it.
I think this episode is probably getting a bit long, so we're probably about ready to wrap up.
Yeah, we can probably call it.
Do you have any other opinions about the AOC stream?
Not really. I thought it was fine. Yeah,
it was entertaining. I liked it.
Yeah, we can call it. I just got to get out of this fight.
I keep accidentally running into the water, and I need to get out of here. I did get an encounter in this new village because there's puddles, and I caught a Duosian.
Wow.
So that's kind of cool.
That's one of the actual Pokemon that I think spawn there.
Really?
Yeah, pretty sure. I remember because I caught a... Yep, I caught one of those when I played this game for real back in 2011. And named it Solo.
I remember Solo the Runiclus.
Yep.
You did do that.
It's a pretty good name, honestly.
Yeah.
For a
Solosis. And then it continues undergoing mitosis.
It's not a great name for Runiclus. But you know, it's a good name for Solosis. Yeah. Actually, it's not a good name. I just realized it's just kind of the first part of its name.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I guess if you're in a good spot, how did you get through the Relic Castle anymore, or?
Yeah, I don't know what I've been doing this whole episode, but I got the last gym badge.
Oh, okay, that's something.
I have not seen Zekrom yet.
Interesting. Maybe you don't actually catch the legendary. Maybe you just encounter it, but you don't actually catch it until
I didn't even
after the
encounter
game is done.
I've not seen it.
Huh. Yeah, I honestly cannot remember. Well, I made it to this city after the cave, so that's good. It's where the ice gym is, so I'm moving. I'm making some progress. I've got 3 Pokemon in my party now, which is something.
I have 2 Pokemon. I had to catch a Cherim to be able to learn Fly.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, I should
no,
give something
shoot.
Fly.
I've just triggered another cutscene.
I guess I'll keep running while you're doing that then. Oh, but I could...
Why is Cherim fighting me?
Wait, you're in a fight now?
Yeah.
Alright, never mind. I guess I'll continue and catch something in this next route.
This sucks.
What can I find in Dragon Spiral Tower? It's gonna be a Jigglypuff. Wow.
I've literally never lost a fight. Why would you think you can beat me right now? What gives you the idea that that is in the realm of possibility?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can catch this Jigglypuff quick. Maybe it'll have a crazy ability. You know?
What a move set on this camera. Trick Room, turn 1. Turn 2, Future Sight. Turn 3, Growl. And now it's dead.
Yeah, I love Pokemon like that like spend all of their turns just like setting stuff up and then they faint. And they have done nothing.
Growl.
I mean, Trick Room going up is something, but all right, we caught a Jigglypuff. What do I name a Jigglypuff?
Oh,
Marshmallow?
I
think I already named something Marshmallow, didn't I? What do I name Jigglypuff? Pink. I'm naming it Marshmallow again. I don't care. I'm not going to use it.
Wait, what am I taking damage from?
It's going to have huge power. Marshmallow. Oh, it doesn't.
It's too long. Pursuit.
Okay,
I might lose.
Mallow. You're going to lose?
No.
That would be a plot twist at the end of the episode.
No, I'm fine.
All right, let's see what this Jigglypuff has. Jigglypuff has immunity. Can't get poisoned. Well, I mean, it's not bad, but that's not great.
Yeah.
Go heal up. Iceris City. That's what this place is called. And Siri thinks that I am talking to her. I am not. Siri, when have I ever spoken to you? Except right then, and you didn't activate. So, good work.
Wow. I don't think I've ever used Siri on either my phone or my computer.
Uh-huh. It's only by accident. It's whenever I'm talking about, like, Series 5 or Series 6 for Pokemon that it activates.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what? You wanted something? I'm like, nope. I wanted nothing.
Oh, good. I got a bunch of max revives.
Wow. Those are so useful.
Yeah,
I guess you can sell them.
you
can sell them and get Poké Dollars that you can spend on actual healing items.
Wait, are they actually called Poké Dollars?
I don't know what it's called. I've always called it Pokey.
Yeah.
Or Poké.
Same.
All right.
Okay.
You're out of the battle, right?
They're still talking.
No. Watch, you've activated like the end of the game sequence of cutscenes and stuff.
We're done. We're done.
All right, we made it. That's been another fantastic episode of Pokemon Black and White Randomizer Nuzlocke Versus. Tune in again next week. Thanks for your questions. Hope you've enjoyed watching. Don't forget to vote tomorrow if you haven't voted already. And we'll be back maybe next week, maybe in 2 weeks, maybe in 3 weeks. Because
who knows?
This series is inconsistent. But it'll be a Monday. Any last words?
Nope.
All right, we'll see you next time.